We're back with another live. So we're going to be reading through the book of Proverbs. So lots of good stuff in Proverbs. Highly recommend it. It's nice. It's 30 chapters. So we're going to get through that. And I might put in some points throughout reading it. So it's not just going to be reading through Proverbs, though it will mostly be reading through Proverbs. So let's begin. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline, to help them understand insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them to do what is right, just, and fair. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning of in these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and the riddles. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of truth and knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instruction. What you learn from them will crown you with grace and will be a chain of honor around your neck. My child, if sinners entice you, turn your back on them. They may say, come and join us. Let us hide and kill someone. Just for fun, let us ambush the innocent. Let's swallow them alive like the grave. Let's swallow them whole like those who go down into the pit of death. Think about the great things we'll get. We'll fill our houses with the stuff we take. Come throw in your lot with us. We'll all share the loot. My child, don't go along with them. Stay far away from their paths. Don't rush to commit evil deeds. They hurry to commit murder. If a bird sees a trap being set, it knows to stay away. But these people set an ambush for themselves. They are trying to get themselves killed. Such fate of all who are greedy for money. It robs them of life. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in the front of the city gates. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. I called for you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You ignored my advice. You rejected the correction I offered. So I will laugh when you are in trouble, and I will mock when disaster overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguishes and distress overwhelm you. When they cry for help, I will not answer, though they anxiously search for me. They will not find me, for they hated knowledge and choose not to fear the Lord. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, they must eat bitter fruit of the living of their own way, choking on their own schemes. For simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency. But all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. My child, listen to what I say and treasure my commandments. Turn your ears to wisdom and concern on understanding. Cry out for insight and ask for understanding. Search for them as you would for silver. Seek for them like hidden treasures. Then you will understand what it means to fear the Lord, and you will gain knowledge of God. For the Lord grants wisdom. From his mouth come understanding and knowledge. He grants treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. He guards the path of those who are just and protects those who are faithful to him. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will watch over you, understanding will keep you safe. Wisdom will save you from evil people, from those whose words are twisted. These men turn from the right way to walk down dark paths. They take pleasure in doing wrong, and they enjoy the twisted ways of evil. Their actions are crooked, and their ways are wrong. Wisdom will save you from the immoral woman, from the seductive words of the promiscuous woman. She has abandoned her husband and ignores the covenant she made before God. Entering her house leads to death. It is a road to the grave. The man who visits her is doomed. He will never reach the paths of life. So follow the steps of the good and stay on the paths of righteous. For only the godly will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be removed from the land, and the treacherous will be uprooted. Chapter 3. My child, never forget the things I have taught you. Store my commandments in your heart. If you do this, you will live many years, and your life will be satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart, and then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all that you do, and He will show you which path to take. Don't be impressed by your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth and the best part of everything you produce. Then He will fill your barns with grain, and your vats will overflow with good wine. My child, don't reject the Lord's discipline, and don't be upset when He corrects you. For the Lord corrects those He loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom He delights. Joyful is the person who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. For wisdom is more profitable than silver, and her wages are better than gold. Wisdom is more precious than rubies. Nothing you can desire can compare to her. She offers you a long life with her right hand, and riches in her honor in her left. She will guide you down delightful paths. All her ways are satisfying. Wisdom is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Happy are those who hold to her tightly. By wisdom the Lord founded the earth. By understanding he created the heavens. By knowledge the deep fountains of the earth burst forth, and the dews settled beneath the night sky. My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them, for they will replenish your soul. They are like jewels on a necklace. They will keep you safe on your way, and your feet will not stumble. You can go to bed without fear, and you will lie down and sleep soundly. You need not be afraid of sudden disaster or the destruction that comes upon the wicked, for the Lord is your security. He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it, when it is your power to help them. If you can help your neighbor now, don't say, "Come back tomorrow, and then I'll help you." Don't plan hard against your neighbor, for those who live nearby trust you. Don't pick a fight without reason, for no one has done you harm. Don't envy violent people or copy their ways. Such wicked people are detestable to the Lord, but he offers his friendship to the godly. The Lord curses the houses of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the upright. The Lord mocks the mockers, but is gracious to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools will be put to shame. My children, listen when your father corrects you. Pay attention and learn judgment, for I am giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instruction, for I too was once my father's son, tenderly loved as my mother's only child. My father taught me, take my words to heart, follow my commands, and live wisely. Get wisdom, develop a good judgment. Don't forget my words or turn away from them. Don't turn your back on wisdom, for she will protect you. Love her, and she will guard you. Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do, and whatever else you can develop, good judgment. If you prize wisdom, she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will place a lovely wreath around your head, and she will present you with a beautiful crown. My child, listen to me, and as I say, as you have a good long life. I teach you wisdom's ways and lead you in straight paths. When you walk, you won't be held back. When you run, you will not stumble. Take hold of my instruction and don't let them go. Guard them, for they are the key to life. Don't do as the wicked do and follow the evil paths. Don't think about it. Don't go that way. Turn away and keep moving, for evil people can't sleep until they're done evil deeds for the day. They can't rest until they cause someone to stumble. They eat the food of wickedness, and they drink the wine of violence. The way of the righteous is like a first gleam of dawn, when, which shines brighter into the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like darkness, and they have no idea what they are stumbling over. My child, pay attention to what I say. Listen carefully to my words. Don't lose sight of them. Let them penetrate deep into your heart, for they bring life to those who find them, and healing to their whole body. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Avoid all perverse talk, and stay away from corrupt speech. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on that safe path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. Chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen carefully to my wise counsel. Then I will show you discernment, and your lips will express what you've learned. For the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as poison and dangerous as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, and her steps lead straight to the grave. For she cares nothing about the path of life. She staggers down a crooked trail and doesn't realize it. So now, my sons, listen to me. Never stray from what I am about to say. Stay away from her. Don't go near the door of her house, or if you do, you will lose your honor, and will lose the merciless people all you have achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and someone else will enjoy the fruit of your labor. In the end, you will groan in anguish, and your disease consumes your body. You will say, how I hated discipline. If only I had not ignored all the warnings. Oh, why didn't I listen to my teachers? Why didn't I pay attention to my instructors? I have come to brink of utter ruin, and now I must face public disgrace. Drink water from your own well. Share the love only with your wife. Why spill the water of your springs in the street? Having sex with anyone, you should reserve it for yourself and never share it with strangers. Let your wife be the foundation of your blessing. Rejoice in your wife of youth. If she is a loving deer, a gracious doe, let her breast satisfy you always, and you always be captivated by her love. Why be captivated, my son, by an immoral woman, or a fondle of breast from a promiscuous woman? For the Lord sees clearly what a man does, examining every path he takes. An evil man is held captive by his own sins, and the robes that for lack of self control, and he will be lost because of his great foolishness. Hi, Meds 690. Thanks for joining in the chat. Chapter 6. My child, if you have put up security for a friend's debt or guarantee the debt of a stranger, if you are trapped yourself by your agreement and are caught by what you said, followed my advice and save yourself, for you have placed yourself at your friend's mercy. Now swallow up your pride. Go and beg to have your name erased. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. Save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from the nest. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn to follow their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? Will you ever wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little more folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Sacredity will attack you like an armed robber. What are the worthless and wicked people like? They are constant liars, singling their deceit with a wink of the eye, a nudge of the foot, or a winkle of their fingers. They are perverted hearts, plot evil, and they constantly stir up trouble. But they will be destroyed suddenly, broken in an instant beyond all hope of healing. There are 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 things he detests: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill innocent people, a heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who sows discord in a family. My son, obey your father's commands, and don't neglect your mother's instructions. Keep their words always in your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, their counsel will lead you. When you sleep, they will protect you. And when you wake up, they will advise you. For their command is a light, their instruction is a light. Their corrective discipline is the way to life. If you keep from a moral woman, from the smooth of her tongue, of a promiscuous woman, don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glance seduce you, for a prostitute will bring you to poverty. but sleeping with another man's wife will cost you your life. Can a man scoop a flame into his lap and not have his clothes catch on fire? Can he walk on hot coals and not blister his feet? So is it with a man who sleeps with another man's wife. He who embraces her will not go unpunished. Excuses might be found for a thief who steals because he was starving, but if he is caught, he must pay back 7 times what he stole. He has to sell everything in his house. But the man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself. He will be wounded and disgraced. His shame will never be erased. For a woman's jealous husband will be furious, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will have no compassion, nor be satisfied with payoff of any size. Chapter 7. Followed my advice, my son. Always treasure my commands. Obey my commandments and live. Guard my instructions as you guard your own eyes. Tie them on your fingers as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Love wisdom like a sister. Make insight a beloved member of your family. And let them protect you from the affair with an immoral woman, from listening to the flattery of a promiscuous woman. While I was at the window of my house, looking through the curtain, I saw a naive young man, and the one in particular who lacked common sense. He was crossing the street near a house of an immoral woman, strolling down the path by her house. It was twilight in the evening, and darkness fell. The woman approached him seductively, dressed in sly of heart. She was the brash, rebellious type, never content to stay at home. She often is in the streets and the markets, solacing at every corner. She threw her arms around him and kissed him. With a brazen look, she said, I've just made peace offerings and fulfilled my vows. You are the one I was looking for. I came to find you, and here you are. My bed is spread with beautiful blankets and covered with sheets of an Egyptian linen. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink and fill our love each morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses. For my husband is not home. He is away on a long trip. He has taken my wallet full of money with him, and he won't return until later this month. So she seduced him with her pretty speech, and enticed him with her flattery. He followed her at once like an ox going to the slaughter. He was like a stag caught in a trap, awaiting the arrows that would pierce into his heart. He was like a bird flying into a snare, little knowing of what it would cost him, his life. So listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your hearts stray away towards her. Don't wander down her wayward path, for he has ruined many. Many men have been her victims. Her house is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is a den of death. Chapter 8. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop, along the road, she takes her stand on the crossroads. By the gates, at the entrance of the town, on the road leading in, she cries out, I call to you all. I raise my voice to all people. You simple people use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me. I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right, for I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome, and there is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to everyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instructions rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold, for wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. Wisdom live together. I and wisdom live together with good judgment. I now know to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore, I hate pride and arrogance, corrupt and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments. I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness and paths of justice. Those who live me with me inherit wealth. Will fill their treasuries. The Lord formed me from the beginning, before he created anything else. I was appointed in ages past, at the very first, before the earth began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth with waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born, before he had made the earth and fields, and their first harvest handful of soil. I was there when he established the heavens, and when he drew the horizons of the ocean. I was there when he set the clouds above, and when he established the springs deep in the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the sea so that they would not spread beyond their boundaries, and he marked off the earth's foundation. I was the architect at his side. I was the constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was when he created, how I rejoiced with the human family. And so, my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me life and receives favor from the Lord, but those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. Chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved its 7 columns. She has prepared a great banquet, with wines at the table. She has sent her servants to invite everyone to come. She calls out, looking at the heights, overseeing the city. Come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good, leave your simple ways behind and begin to live and learn to have good judgment. Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers, for they will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. Wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. It will become If you become wise, you will be the one to benefit. If you scorn wisdom, you will be the one to suffer. The woman named Folly is brash. She is ignorant and doesn't know it. She sits in the doorway of the heights overseeing the city. She calls to the men going by who are misleading, minding their own business. Come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best. But little do they know that dead are there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. Chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise child brings joy to his father. A foolish child brings grief to a mother. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. The Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. Lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. The wise youth harvests in the summer, but the one who sleeps during the harvest is a disgrace. The godly are showered with blessings, and the words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. We have happy memories of the godly, but the name of the wicked person rots away. The wise are glad to be instructed, but babbling fools fall flat on their faces. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed. People who wink at the wrong cause trouble, but bold reproofs promote peace. The words of the godly are life-giving fountain. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. Hate stirs up quarrels, but love makes up for all offenses. Wise word comes from the lip of people with understanding, but those lacking sense will be beaten with a rod. Wise people treasure knowledge, but babbling of a fool invites disaster. The riches of the fool is his fortress, and the poverty of the poor is their destruction. The earnings of the godly enchants their lives, but people quickly slander their money on sin. People who accept discipline on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. Too much talk leads to sin. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut. The words of the godly are like sterling silver. The heart of the fool is worthless. The words of the godly encourage many, but the fools destroy their lack of common sense. A blessing of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled, the hopes of the godly will be granted. When the storms of life come and the wicked are whirlwind away, but the godly have a lasting foundation. Lazy people irritate their employers like vineyards or teeth in a smoking of an eye. Fear of the Lord lengthens one's life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The hopes of the godly result in happiness, but the expectations of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a stronghold with integrity, but it will destroy the wicked. The godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. The mouth of the godly person gives wise advice, but the tongue that deceives will be cut off. The lips of the godly speak hopeful words, but the mouth of the wicked speak perverse words. Chapter 11. The Lord did, but with humility comes wisdom. Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. Riches won't help them on the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. The godly are directed by honesty, the wicked fall beneath their load of sin. The godly of good people rescues them, the ambition of treacherous people traps them. When the wicked die, their hopes die with them, for they rely on their own feeble strength. The godly are rescued from trouble and falls on the wicked instead. With their words, the godless destroy their friends, but knowledge will rescue the righteous. The whole city celebrates when the godly succeed. They shout for joy when the wicked die. Upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper, but the talk of the wicked tears it apart. A gossip goes around telling secret, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence. Without wise leadership, a nation fails. There is a safety in having many advisors. There's a danger in pulling up security for a stranger's debt. It is safer not to guarantee another person's debt. Gracious woman gains respect, but a ruthless man gains only wealth. Your kindness will reward you, but cruelty will destroy you. Evil people get rich in the moment, but the reward of the godly will last. Godly people find life, evil people find death. The Lord detests people with crooked hearts, but he delights in those with integrity. Evil people will surely be punished, but the children of the in a pig's snow. The godly can look forward to reward, but the wicked can only expect judgment. Give freely and become wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. People curse those who hoard their gain, but they bless the one who sells it in time of need. If you search for good, you will find favor. But if you search for evil, it will find you. Don't trust in your money, and it, trust in your money, and it will let you down. But the godly flourish like leaves in the spring. Those who bring trouble on their families inherit the wind. A fool will be a servant to the wise. The seeds of the good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. If a righteous if the righteous are rewarded here on earth, what will happen to the wicked sinners? To learn discipline, you must also love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. The Lord approves of those who are good, but he condemns those who plan wickedness. Wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. A worthy wife is a crown of her husband, but a disgraceful woman is a cancer in his bones. The plans of the godly are just, the advice of the wicked is treacherous. The words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly save lives. The wicked dies and disappears, but the family of the godly stands firm. A sensible person wins admiration, but his warped mind is despised. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be a self-important but have no food. The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well rooted and they bear their own fruit. The godly are trampled by their own words, but the godly escape such trouble. Wise words bring many benefits. Hard work brings reward. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to each other. A fool is quick tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. An honest witness tells the truth. A false witness tells lies. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of lies bring healing. Truthful words stand the test of time, but lies are soon exposed. Deceit fills hearts that are plotting evil. Joy fills hearts that are planning peace. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who find the truth. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Hard work and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Worry weighs a person down, but an encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly give good advice to their friends, the wicked lead them astray. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but they delight in making use of everything they find. The way of the godly leads to life, the path does not lead to death. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline. A mocker refuses to listen when corrected. Wise words will win you a good meal, but a treacherous people have an appetite for violence. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. Lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. The godly hate lies, the wicked cause shame and disgrace. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but evil are misled by sin. Some people poor pretend to be rich, others who are rich pretend to be poor. The rich can pay a ransom for their lives, but the poor won't even get threatened. The life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Wealth from a get rich quick scheme quickly disappeared. Wealth from hard work grows over time. Hope deferred makes a heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. People who despise advice are asking for trouble. Those who respect a command will succeed. The instruction of the wise is like a life giving fountain to those who accept it. They avoid the snares of death. A poisoned person with good sense is respected. A treacherous person is headed for destruction. Wise people think before they act. Fools don't even brag about their foolishness. An unreliable measure stumbles into trouble, but a reliable messenger brings healing. If you ignore criticism, you will end in poverty and disaster. If you accept criticism, you will be honored. It is pleasing to see a dream come true, but fools refuse to turn from the evil to attain them. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Trouble chases sinners, while the blessed reward of the righteous. Good people live and leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, but a sinner's wealth passes to the godly. A person's farm may produce much food, but injustice sweeps it all away. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. The godly eat to their heart's content, but the belly of the wicked goes hungry. A wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Those who follow the right path fear the Lord, but those who do the wrong path despise him. A fool's proud talk becomes the rod that beats him, but the words of the wise keep them safe. With it, oxen, a stable stays clean, but you need a strong ox for a large harvest. An honest witness does not lie, a faultless witness breathes lies. Mockers see wisdom and never find it, but knowledge comes easily to those without understanding. Stay away from those fools, for they won't find knowledge on their lips. The prudent understanding where they go, but fools deceive themselves. Fools make fun of guilt, but the godly acknowledge it and see recollection. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one can fully share its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the godly will flourish. There is a path before each person that seems right, but in the end leads to death. Laughter can conceive a heavy heart, but when laughter ends, the grief remains. Backsliders get what they deserve. Good people receive their reward. Only simpletons believe everything they're told. A prudent, careful, a prudent prudent carefully consider their steps. The wise are cautious and avoid danger. Fools plunge ahead with the reckless confidence. Short-tempered people do foolish things, and schemers are hated. Simpletons are clothed with foolishness, and prudence crowned with knowledge. Evil people will bow before good people. The wicked will bow at the gates of the godly. The poor are despised even by their neighbors, while the rich have many friends. It is a sin to belittle one's neighbor. Blessed are those who help the poor. If you plan to do evil, you will be lost. If you plan to do good, you will receive unfailing love and faithfulness. Work brings profit, but those who merely talk leads to poverty. Wealth is a crown for the wise. The effort of fools leads only to foolishness. A truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is a traitor. Those who fear the Lord will be secure, for he will be a refuge for their children. Fear of the Lord is a life-giving fountain. It offers an escape from the snares of death. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing. People with understanding control their anger, and hot-tempered people show their foolishness. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like a cancer in the bones. Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. The wicked are crushed by disaster, but the godly have refuge when they die. Wisdom is enriched in an understanding heart. Wisdom is not found among fools. Godliness makes a nation great, but sin is a disaster to any people. A king's servant is wise. A king rejoices in wise servants, but is angry with those who disgrace him. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. The tongue of a wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool bleaches out foolishness. The Lord is watching everywhere, keeping his eyes on both the good and the evil. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceiving tongue crushes the spirit. Only a fool despises a parent's discipline. Whoever learns the correction is wise. There is treasure in the house of the godly, but the earnings of the wicked bring trouble. The lips of the wise give good advice, but the heart of the fool has none to give. The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but he delights in the prayers of the upright. He will detest the ways of the wicked, but he loves those who pursue goodness. Those abandoned to the right path will severely be disciplined. Whoever hates correction will die. Even death and destruction hold no secrets from the Lord. How much more does he know the human heart? Mockers hate to be corrected, so they stay away from the wise. A glad heart makes a happy face, and a broken heart crushes the spirit. A wise person is hungry for knowledge, while a fool feeds on trash. For disappointing every day brings trouble, for a happy heart is a continual feast. Better to have little with fear of the Lord than have a great treasure with inner turmoil. A bowl of vegetables with someone you love is better than a steak with someone you hate. Hot-tempered person starts fight, a cold-tempered person stops them. A lazy person way is blocked with barriers, and the path of the upright is an open highway. Sensible children bring joy to their foolish children despise their mother. Foolishness brings joy to those with no sense. A sensible person stays on the right path. Plans for the wrong lack advice. Many advisors bring success. Everyone enjoys a fitting reply. It is wonderful to say the right things at the right time. The path of life leads upward for the wise. They leave the grave behind. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he protects the property of the widows. The Lord detests evil plans, but he delights in pure words. Greed brings grief to the whole family, but those who hate bribes will live. The careful heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayers of the righteous. A cheerful look brings joy to the heart. Good news makes good for health. If you listen to constructive criticism, you will be at home among the wise. If you reject discipline, you will only harm yourself. But if you listen to correction, you will grow in understanding. Fear of the Lord teaches wisdom. Humility produces honor. We may make our own plans, but the Lord gives the right answer. People may be pure in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their motives. Commit your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. The Lord has made everything for his own purpose, even the wicked for a day of disaster. The Lord detests the proud, and they will surely be punished. Unfailing love and faithfulness make atonement for sin, but by fearing the Lord, people and avoiding evil. People live people's lives please the Lord, even their enemies are at peace with them. Better to have little with godliness than to be rich and dishonest. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. The king speaks with divine wisdom. He must never judge unfairly. The Lord demands accurate scales and balance. He sets the standards for fairness. A king, des- a king detests wrongdoing, for his rule is built on no justice. The anger of the king is a deadly threat. The wise will try to appeal it. When the king smiles, there is life. His favor refreshes like a spring's rain. How much better is to get than wisdom, than a good judgment, than gold, and a good judgment than silver. The path of the victorious lead away from evil. Whoever follows the path is safe. Pride goes before destruction, haughtiness before a fall. Better to live in humility with the poor than to share the plunder with the proud. Those who listen to instruction will prosper. Those who trust in the Lord will be joyful. The wise are known for their understanding, and pleasant words are persuasive. Discernment is a lie giving fountain to those who possess it, but discipline is wasted on fools. From a wise mind comes wise speech. The words of the wise are persuasive. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul, and healthy for the body. There is a part before God person that seems right, but in the end it is death. It is good for workers to have an appetite. An empty stomach drives them. Scoundrels create trouble. Their words are destructible blaze. Troublemakers plant seeds of strife. Gossip spreads of the best of friends. Violent commit misleading companions, leading them down a harmful path. With narrow eyes, plotting to do evil. With a smirk, they plan their own mischief. Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained by the living of godly life. Better to be patient than powerful. Better to have self-control than to conquer a city. We may throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they fall. Better to dry crust Better to dry crust eating in peace than a house filled with feasting and conflict. A wise person will rule over the master, disgraced son, and he will share the inheritance of his master's children. Fire tests the purity of silver and gold, but the Lord tests the heart. Wrongdoers eagerly listen to gossip. Liars pay close attention to slander. Those who mock the poor insult their maker. Those who rejoice at the misfortune of others will be punished. Grandchildren are the crowning glory of the age. Parents are the pride of their children. Eloquent words are not fitting for a fool, even less are lies fitting for a ruler. A bribe is like a lucky charm. Whoever gives one will prosper. Love prospers when a fault is forgiven, but dwelling on separates close friends. Single rebuke does more for a person than understanding, than 100 lashes of the back of the fool. Evil people are easy for rebellion, and they will be severely punished. It is safer to meet a bear robbed on the cubs than to be caught in the foolishness. If you repay good with evil, evil will never leave your house. Starting a quarrel is like opening a floodgate to stop before a dispute breaks out. Acquiring the guilty and condemned and innocent both are detestable to the Lord. If a senseless, it is senseless to educate a fool, since he has no heart for learning. A friend is always loyal. A brother is always born to time and need. A poor judgment to guarantee another person's debt, or put security for up for a friend. Anyone who loves to quarrel loves sin. Anyone who trusts in high walls invites disaster. The crooked heart will not prosper, but the lying tongue trembles into trouble. It is painful to be a parent of a fool. There is no joy for the father of a rebel. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. The wicked take the secret bribes to pervert the curse of injustice. Sensible people keep their eyes glued on wisdom, but a fool's eye wanders to the ends of the earth. Foolish children bring grief to their father and bitterness to the one who gave them birth. It is wrong to punish the godly for they are being good, or to flog the leaders for being honest. A true wise person uses few words. A person with understanding is even tempered. But fools are thought wise when they are kept silent and their mouths are kept shut to seem intelligent. Chapter 18. Unfriendly people care only about themselves. They lash out on common sense. Fools have no interest in understanding, they only want to air their own opinions. Doing wrong leads to disgrace, and scandalous behavior bring contempt. Wise words are like deep waters. Wisdom flows from the wise like a bubbling brook. It is not right for the adequate or guilty, or den of justice to the innocent. Fools' words get them into constant quarrels. They are asking for a beating. The mouths of a fool are ruin. They trap themselves with their lips. Rumors of the dainty morals that sink deep into one's heart. A lazy person is as bad as someone who destroys things. The name of the Lord is a strong fortress. The godly run to him and are safe. The rich think their wealth is a strong defense. They imagine to be high on the wall of safety. Haughtiness goes before destruction. Humility precedes honor. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. A human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can bear a crushed spirit? Intelligent people are always ready to learn. Their ears are always open to knowledge. Giving a gift can open doors. It gives access to important people. The first to speak in court sounds right until a cross examination begins. Flipping a coin can end argument. It settles a dispute between powerful opponents. An offended friend is harder to win than a fortified city. Arguments separate friends like a gate locked with bars. Wise words satisfy a good meal. The right words bring satisfaction. A tongue can bring life and death. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. A man who finds a wife finds a treasure. He receives a favor from the Lord. A poor is plead for mercy. The rich answer with insults. Those are friends who destroy each other. But a real friend sticks closer than a brother. Chapter 19. Better to be poor and honest than dishonest and a fool. Enthusiastic without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and they're angry at the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, poverty drives them away. A false witness will not go unpunished, nor will a liar escape. Many seek favors from the ruler. Every person is a friend of the person who gives gifts. The relatives of the poor despise them. How much more will their friends avoid them? Though the poor plead with them, their friends are gone. Acquire wisdom to love yourself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. A false witness will not go unpunished, and a liar will not be destroyed. It isn't right for a fool to live in luxury, or a slave to rule over a princess. Sensible people control their temper. They earn respect by overlooking wrongs. The king's anger is like a roar of a lion, but his favor is like the dew of the grass. A foolish cloud is a calamity to the father. A quarrel is an annoyance, a constant dripping. A father can give insight to their son, an inheritance of house and wealth, but only the Lord can give an understanding wife. Lazy people sleep soundly, but idleness leaves them hungry. Keep their commandments and keep your life. Despising them leads to death. If you help the poor and you are leading to the Lord, he will repay you. Discipline your children. There is hope. Otherwise, you will ruin their lives. Hot tempered people must pay the penalty. If you rescue them once, you will have to do it again. Get all the advice, instructions you can, so that they will be wise the rest of your life. If you make any plans but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Loyalty makes a person attractive. It is better to be poor than dishonest. Fear the Lord brings life to life, bringing security and protection from harm. Lazy people take food in their hand, but they don't even lift it to their mouth. If you punish a mocker, and simple minded will learn a lesson. If you correct the wise, they will be all the wiser. Children who mislead their parents or chase away their mother are an embarrassment and a public disgrace. If you stop listening to my instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. A corrupt witness makes a mockery of justice, and the mouth of a wicked gulps down evil. Punishment is made for mockers, and backs of fools are made to be beaten. Wine produces mockers, alcohol leads to brawls. Those who are led astray by a drink cannot be wise. The king's fury is like a lion's roar. To rouse his anger is to risk your life. Avoiding a fight is the mark of honor. Only fools insist on quarreling. Those too lazy to plow the right season will have no food for the harvest. Those who advise lies deep within the heart, a person with understanding will draw it out. Many will say they are loyal friends, but who can find one who is truly reliable? The godly walk with integrity, blessing and their children who follow them. When a king sits on judgment and weighs the evidence, disguising the bad from the good, who can say, I have cleaned my heart, I am pure, I am free from sin? False ways and unequal measures, the Lord detests double standards of every kind. Even children are known by the way they act, whether their conduct is pure or whether it is right. Ears to hear and eyes to see are both gifts from the Lord. If you love sleep, you will end in poverty. Keep your eyes open, and there will be plenty to eat. If a buyer hangles over the price saying it's worthless, then brags about getting a bargain. Wise words are more valuable than much gold and many rubies. Get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does not do it for foreigners. Stolen bread tastes sweet but turns to gravel in the mouth. Plans succeed through good counsel. Don't go to war without wise advice. A gossip goes around telling secrets, so don't hang around with chatterers. If you insult your father or mother, the light will be snuffed out in total darkness. An inheritance obtained to earthly in life is not a blessing in the end. Don't say, I won't get even for this wrong. Wait for the Lord to handle this matter. The Lord detests double standards. He is not pleased with dishonest tales. The Lord directs our steps, so why do we try to understand everything along the way? Every, don't trap yourself by making a rash promise to God and only later take counting the cost. A wise king scatters the wicked like wheat, then runs his threshings wheel over them. The Lord lights uh, penetrates the humans. The Lord's light penetrates the human spirit, exposing every hidden motive. Unfailing love and faithfulness protect the king. His throne is made securely through love. The godly of the young is their strength. The gray hair of the experienced is the splendor of the old. Physical punishment cleans away evil. Such discipline purifies the heart. The king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases. People may be right in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their heart. The Lord is pleased when we do what is right and just, when he offer him sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart and evil actions are all sin. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Wealth created by a lying tongue is a vanquished mist and is a deadly trap. The violence of the wicked sweeps them away because they refuse to do what is just. The God the Guilty walk a crooked path, and the innocent travel a straight road. It is better to live alone in a corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Evil people desire evil; their neighbor get no mercy from them. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will become wise. If you instruct the wise, they will be all the wiser. The righteous one knows what is going on in the homes of the wicked; he will bring disaster on them. Those who shut their ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in their time of need. A secret gift calms anger; a bribe under the table pacifies fury. Justice is a joy to the godly, but terrifies evildoers. A person who strays away from common sense will end up in the company of the dead. Those who love pleasure become poor; those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. The wicked are punished and placed in place of the godly, and traitors in the place of the honest. It is better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. The wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Whoever pursues righteousness and unfailing love will find life, righteousness, and honor. The wise conquer the city of the strong and the level of the fortress which they trust. Wet your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. Mockers are proud and haughty, and they will act boundless and arrogant. Despite their desires, the lazy will come to ruin, for their hands refuse to work. Some people are always greedy for more, but the godly love to give. The sacrifice of an evil person is detestable, especially when it is offered with the wrong motives. A false witness will be cut off from a credible witness will be allowed to speak. The witness bluff their ways through, but the victorious think before they act. No human wisdom can understand or plan or stand against the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. Choose a good reputation over riches. Being held in the high esteem is better than silver or gold. The rich and poor have this in common: the Lord made them both. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simple minded go blindly and suffer the consequences. True humility and fear of the Lord leads to riches, honor, and a long life. Corrupt people walk in authority treacherous road. Whoever values life will avoid it. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older they will not leave it. Just as the rich ruler are poor, just as the rich rule the poor, so the borrower is a servant to the lender. Those who plant injustice will harvest disaster. Those who rain terror and come to an end. Blessings are those who are generous, because they feed the poor. Throughout the mocker and the fighter goes too. Quarrels and insults will disappear. Whoever loves a pure heart and gracious spirit will have a king as a friend. But the Lord preserves those with knowledge. He ruins the plans of the treacherous. A lazy person claims, "There is a lion out there. If I go outside, I might be killed." The mouth of the immoral woman is a dangerous trap. Those who make the Lord angry will fall into it. A youngster's heart is filled with foolishness, but physical discipline will drive it far away. A person who gets ahead by oppressing the poor or by showering gifts on the rich will end in poverty. Listen to the words of the wise. Apply your heart to my instruction, for it is good to keep saying in your heart and always ready on your lips. I am teaching you today, yes, you. You have trusted in your Lord, and you have written thirsty sayings for you, filled with advice and knowledge. In this way you will know the truth, and you will take accurate report to those who sent you. Don't rob the poor just because you can, or exploit the needy in the court. The Lord is their defender, and he will ruin anyone who ruins them. Don't befriend angry people, or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to become like one, and endangering your soul. Don't agree to guarantee another person's debt or put up security for someone else if you can't pay it. Even your bed will be snatched from under you. Don't cheat your neighbor by moving the ancient barrier markers set up by your previous generation. Do you see any truth competent workers? They will serve kings rather than working for ordinary people. While dining with a royal, pay attention to what is put before you. If you are a big eater, put a knife to your throat. Don't desire all the delicates, for he might be trying to trick you. Don't wear yourself out by trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it sprouts wings and flies away like an eagle. Don't eat with people who are stingy. Don't desire their delicates, for they are always thinking about how much it costs. Eat and drink, they will say, but they don't mean it. You will throw up what little you have eaten. Your compliments will be wasted. Don't waste your breath on fools, for they will despise the wisest advice. Don't cheat your neighbor by moving the ancient boundary markers. Don't take the land of defenseless orphans, for the Redeemer is strong. He himself will bring the charges against you. Commit yourself to instruction. Listen carefully to the words of knowledge. Don't fail to discipline your children. The rod of punishment won't kill them. Physical discipline may well save them from death. My child, if your heart is wise, my own heart will rejoice. Everything in me will celebrate when you speak what is right. Don't envy sinners, but they always continue to fear the Lord. You will be rewarded for this. Your hope will not be disappointed. My child, listen and be wise. Keep your heart on the right course. Do not be around drunkards or feast with gluttons, for they are on their way to poverty, and too much sleep clothes them in rags. Listen to your father who gave you life, and don't despise your mother when she is old. Get the truth and never sell it. Also get wisdom, discipline, and good judgment. The father of godly children for has such a cause for joy. What pleasure to have children who are wise. So give your father and mother joy, and when she gave birth to you, she will be happy. O my son, give me your heart. May your eyes take delight in following my ways. A prostitute is a dangerous trap. A promiscuous woman is as dangerous as falling into a narrow well. She hides and waits like a robber, eager to make more men unfaithful. Who has anguish? Who has sorrow? Who is always fighting? Who is always complaining? Who are necessary brutes? And who has bloodshot eyes? It is the one who spends long hours in taverns trying to out new drinks. Don't gaze at the wine, seeing how red it is, how sparkly it is in the cup, how smooth it goes down, for it ends it will bite like a poisonous snake, it will sting like a viper, and you will see hallucinations, and you will say crazy things. You will stagger like a sailor tossed at sea, clinging to a sailing mast, and you will say, "They hit me, but I didn't feel it. I didn't even know when they beat me up. I will wake up so I can look for another drink." Don't envy evil people or desire their company, for their hearts plot violence and their words are always stirring up trouble. A house is built by wisdom and becomes strong enough to have good sense. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. So don't go to war without having wise advice. Victory depends on having many advisors. Wisdom is too lofty for fools among great leaders of a city. They have nothing to say. A person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. The schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Rescue those who are unjustly sentenced to die. Save them as they stagger to their death. Don't excuse yourself by saying, "Look, we didn't know," for God understands all hearts and He sees you. He guards your soul. He knows you. He will repay all people as their actions deserve. My child, eat honey, for it is good. The honeycomb is sweet to the taste. In the same way, wisdom is sweet to your soul. If you find it, you will have a bright future, and hope will not be cut short. Don't wait in an ambush at the home of the godly, and don't raid the house where the godly live. The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But the one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Don't rejoice when your enemies fail. Don't be happy when they stumble, for the Lord will be displeased with you, and He will turn His anger away from them. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future. Their light will be snuffed out. My child, fear the Lord and the King. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment will come from the Lord and their King? Here are some further sayings of the wise. It is wrong to show favoritism when passing judgment. A judge who says to the wicked, "You are innocent," will be cursed by many people and denounced by the nations. But it will go for those who convict the guilty. Rich blessings will be showered on them. An honest answer is a kiss. of friendship. Do your plannings and prepare your fields before building your house. Don't testify against your neighbors without cause, and don't lie about them. And don't say, now I can pay them back for what they have done to me, and I can get even with them. I walked by a field of a lazy person, the vineyard of the one with no common sense. I saw it was overgrown with needles and covered with weeds. Its walls were broken down. Then I looked and thought about it. I learned this lesson: a little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Chapter 25. These are more Proverbs of Solomon, collected by the advisors of King Hezekiah of Judah. It is God's privilege to conceal things, the king's privilege to discover them. No one can comprehend the height of the heaven, nor the depths of the earth, or all that goes on the king's mind. Remove impurities from silver and stealing ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and he will reign, and he will be secure by justice. Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. It is better to wait for an invitation than to head to the table, than to be sent away in public disgrace. Just because you have seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to the court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals with you in a shameful defeat? When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never retain your good reputation. Timely advice is lovely, like a golden apple in a silver basket. To one who listens, valid criticism, it is a gold earring or other gold jewelry. Trustworthy message refreshed like a snow summer. They receive the spirit of their employer. A person who promises a gift but doesn't give it is like clouds and the wind that bring no rain. Patience and persuasion of a prince. A small speech can break bones. Don't you like honey? Don't eat too much of it, or it will make you sick. Don't visit your neighbor too often, or you will wear out your welcome. Telling lies about others is harmless as being bitten by an ox, wounding them with a sword, or sharpening them, or shooting them with an arrow. Putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. Singing cheerful songs to a person with a heavy heart is like tasting someone's coat in cold weather, or pouring vinegar in a wound. If your enemies are hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. If they heap burning coals or shame on their head, then the Lord will reward you. As surely as north wind bring rain, so gossiping tongues can cause anger. It is better to live alone in a corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Good news from far away is like cold water to the thirsty. If the wicked, if the godly give into the wicked, it is like polluting a fountain or muddying a spring. It is not good to eat too much honey, and it is not good to seek honor for yourself. A person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. Honor is no more associated with fools than snow with a summer's rain with harvest. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darling sparrow, a deserving curse will not land on its intended victim. Guide a hearse with a whip, a donkey with a bridle, and a foal with a rod to his back. Don't answer to the fool. Arguments of the fool, or you will become foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish argument of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation. Trusting a fool to convert meshes is cutting one's feet or drinking poison. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is useless as a paralyzed leg. Honoring a fool is foolish as trying to stone a slingshot. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is a thorny branch brandished by a drunk. An employer who hires a fool or bystander is like an archer who shoots at random. A dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. There is no more hope for fools than for people who think they are wise. The lazy person claims there is a line on the road. Yes, I'm sure there is a line out there. As the doors don't swing back and forth on its hinges, so a lazy person turns over in bed. Lazy people take food in their hand but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors. Inferring in someone else's argument is as foolish as yanking a dog's ear, just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to a friend and says, I was only joking. A fire goes out without wood, and quarrels disappear when gossip starts. A quarreling person stops fights as easily as a hot embers light charcoal or fire light wood. Rumors are damping morals that sink into deep one's heart. Smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as a pretty glance covers a clay pot. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they are deceiving you. They pretend to be kind, but they don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils, while their hatred may be concealed by tricking what the wrongdoing will be exposed in public. If you try to set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down it on others, it will crush you instead. A lying tongue hates its victims, and a flattering word causes ruin. Don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the resonance caused by a fool is even heavier. Anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. An open rebuke is better than a hidden love. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. A person who is a full refuge, a person who is full refuses honey, but even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. A person who strays from home is like a bird that strays from its nest. A heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as a perfume and incense. Never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's. When disaster strikes, won't you ask your brother for assistance? It's better to go for your neighbor than to a brother who lives far away. Be wise, my child, and take heart and be glad. Then I will be able to answer my critics. The prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly and suffers the consequences. Get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does not for foreigners. A loud and cheerful greeting early in the morning will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping of rainy day. Stopping her complaints is like trying to stop the wind or trying to start someone with greasy hands. As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. As workers who tend a fig tree are allowed to eat from the fruit, so the workers who protect their employer's interest will be rewarded. So the face is revealed in water, so the heart reflects for a real person. Just as death and destruction never satisfied, so human desire is never satisfied. Fire tests the purity of silver and gold, but a person is tested by bringing praise. You cannot separate fools from their foolishness, even though you grind them with grain and mortar and pestle. Know the state of your flocks, and put your herds into caring. Put your heart into caring for your herds, for witches won't last forever, and crown might be passed to the next generation. After the hay is harvested and a new crop appears, and the mountain grazes and are gathered in. Your sheep will provide wool for clothing, and your goats will provide the price of a field, and you will have enough goat's milk for yourself, your family, and your servant girls. The wicked man run away when no one is chasing them, but the godly are as bold as lions. There, when there is no moral rot within a nation, its government topples easily, but wise and knowledgeable leaders bring stability. A poor person who opposes the poor is like a pounding rain that destroys the crops. To reject the law is to praise the wicked. To obey the law is to fight them. Evil people don't understand justice, but those who follow the Lord completely understand. Better to be poor and honest than dishonest and rich. Young people who obey the law are wise. They will those with wild frings bring shame to their parents. Income from changing high interest rates will end a pocket of someone who is kind to the poor. God detests the prayers of a person who ignores the law. Those who lead good people along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the honest will inherit good things. Rich people may think they are wise, but they are poor with discernment, and they can see. But a poor person with discernment can see right through them. When the godly succeed, everyone is glad. When the wicked take charge, people go into hiding. People who conceal their sins will not prosper, but if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. Blessed are those who fear for doing wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. The wicked ruler is dangerous to the poor, as a roaring lion or attacking bear. Rulers with no understanding will oppress his people, but one who hates corruption will have a long life. A murdering, tormenting conscience will drive him into the grave. Don't protect him. The blameless will be restored from harm, but the crooked will be suddenly destroyed. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies ends up in poverty. A trustworthy person will get a rich reward, but a person who wants quick riches will get into trouble. Showing partially is never good, yet some people will do wrong for a mere piece of bread. Greedy people try to get rich quick, but don't realize they are headed for poverty. In the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery. Anyone who steals from a father and mother and says, "What's wrong with that?" is no better than a murderer. Greed causes fighting, and trusting the Lord leads to prosperity. Those who trust in their own foolish insights, but anyone who walks in wisdom is safe. Whoever gives to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to the poverty will be cursed. When the wicked taste charge, people go into hiding. When the wicked meet disaster, the godly flourish. Chapter 29. Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people will rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if they hang around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A king gives stability to his nation, but one who demands bribes destroys it. To the flattering friend is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by their sins, but righteous escape, shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor. The wicked don't care at all. Markers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. A wise person takes a fool to court, but there will be ranting and ridicule and no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, and the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise keep holding back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, and his advisers will be wicked. The poor and the oppressed have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. The king judges the poor fairly, and his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live richly, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind, and you will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they will run like the wind. But whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. A word may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood who will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, before humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. If you sworn to tell the truth, you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Many seek rulers' favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust. The wicked despise the godly. Chapter 30. The sayings of Amar, son of Jacob, contain this message. I am weary, O God. I am weary and worn out. I am too stupid to be human. I lack common sense. I have not mastered human wisdom, nor do I know the Holy One. But who God goes up from heaven and comes down? Who holds the wind in his fist? Who wraps up the ocean in his cloak? Who has created the whole wide world? What is his name, and what is his son's name? Tell me if you know. Every word of God proves true. He is a shield to all who come to him for protection. Do not add to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. O God, I beg two favors from you. Let them have me before I die. First, help me to never tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is this Lord? And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name. Never slander a worker, an employer, or a person who cursed you, and you will pay for it. Some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They are pure in their own eyes, but they are filthy and unwashed. They look proudly around, casting disdainful glances, and they have teeth like swords and fangs like knives. They devour the poor from the earth, and the needy from the humanity. The leech has two suckers that cry out, more, more. There are three things that are never satisfied. No, four that say, never enough. The grave, the barren room, the thirsty desert, and the blazing fire. The eye that mocks a father and despises a mother's instruction will be plucked out by ravens of the valley. They will be eaten by vultures. There are three things that amaze me. No, four things that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky, how a snake slithers on a rock, how a ship navigates the ocean, and how a man loves a woman. An adulterous woman consumes a man and wipes her mouth and say, what's wrong with that? There are three things that make the earth tremble. No, four it cannot endure. A slave who becomes a king, an overbearing fool who prospers, a bitter woman who finally gets a husband, a servant girl who supplies her mistress. There are four things on earth that are small, but unusually wise. Ants, they aren't strong, but they store up food for all summer. Hyraxes, they aren't powerful, but they make their homes among rocks. Locusts, they have no king, but they march in formation. Lizards, they are easy to catch, but they are found even in the king's palaces. There are three things that walk with strategy, no four that strut about. The lion, king of animals, won't turn aside for anything. The struttering rooster, the male goat, a king as he leads his army. If you have been a fool by being proud or plotting evil, cover your mouth in shame, as the beating of cream yields butter, and striking of nose causes bleeding, so stirring up anger causes quarrels. Chapter 31. The sayings of King Lemuel contain this message, which his mother taught him. O my son of my womb, O son of my vows. Do not waste your strength on woman, or those who ruins kings. For it is not kings, O Lemuel, to guzzle wine. Rulers should not crave alcohol. If they drink, they will forget the law and give justice to the oppressed. Alcohol is for the dying, and wine is for those in bitter distress. Let them drink to forget their poverty and remember their troubles no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those who are being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless, and see that they get justice. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and bustily spinnes it. She is like a merchant ship bringing her food from the offer. She gets up at dawn and prepares breakfast for her household, the plan of days for work for a servant girl. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earrings, she plants a vineyard. She is enriched and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Her hands are busy spinning thread. Her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor. She opens her arms to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bed sheets. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates, where he sits with the other civil leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell at the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household, and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you suppress them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greeted praised, rewarding her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. And that is the book of Proverbs. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful rest of your day.